Today we will install locks on a Volkswagen Transporter. This is the same installation for a T4, T5 and T6 up until 2023. The installation height on this vehicle is flexible. This means that we can place the lock wherever we want from this point all the way up on the rear door. However, we would like to avoid the lower part of the right rear door. Here are the reinforced plates that run diagonally, which are not very fun to drill through. So if you have the option, place the lock 10 cm up on the door, but if you want to avoid the log and place it here, it is still possible to carry out the installation. If there is glass on the rear door of this vehicle, you can also install the lock on the lower part of the rear door. The handle is the same. As for the height placement on the side door, it is exactly the same as on the rear door. We can choose to place the lock from this point all the way up on the side door. It is a flexible placement. If there is glass on the side door, you can place the lock down here under this uneven part. There is a joint here, so right on this part, you can also install the lock if you wish. We start by cleaning the surfaces of the Volkswagen Transporter where we will be mounting. We start by sticking on the drilling templates. The drilling template can, as mentioned, be placed at any height. We choose to move up a bit to avoid the reinforced plates on the right rear door. Here, it is important that we shift the drilling template to the right, slightly past the door panel with the black line. This is to ensure that the holes coming from the inside out have extra space. On the side door, we stick the drilling template so that the black line ends flush with the door panel. And then we also chose to place it at the same height as on the rear door to make it look a bit nicer. The black line flush with the door panel on the side door. Back to the rear door. We mark the holes that we are not going to drill on this vehicle model. We also mark the areas on the side door where we should not drill holes. We take a punch and mark the drilling. On the left rear door, we punch in the center. On the right rear door, we drill 2 mm inward for better clearance for the locking mechanism on all 4 holes. On the side door, on the right, the opening side door, we center the drill on all 3 holes. On the actual body, we angle a bit inward and a bit downward, so we hang it up in the cross. This is to compensate when the door's hinges give way and it starts to sag. So precise, a little in and a little down. Carefully take out and gently cut the drilling templates in half, slowly, so we can open the doors. We start by pre-drilling with a smaller drill, about 4 mm, and drill on the right rear door. Then open the door to avoid a breakthrough that could damage the pillar and the trim. On the left rear door, we pre-drill with a smaller ball. We only drill through the outer plate on the 2 holes, and we drill all the way through the 2 outermost ones. Please ensure that you change the drill to size 6.5 and carefully drill the 2 outer holes on the left rear door to 6.5 mm through, and precisely as instructed. Drill the 3rd hole from the top to 6.5 mm, all the way through the entire post. Drill the 3 remaining holes on the right rear door to 9 mm, only through the outer plate. Drill the middle hole on the left rear door to 9 mm and then remove the outer plate. Behind the door, there is a wire that goes directly to the lamp and the lock. Drill it very carefully so that the drill does not get stuck and get pulled along. Otherwise, you will have to replace it. Change the drill to 7.5 millimeters and drill the hole on the left rear door all the way to the far left to 7.5 millimeters, only the outer plate. Take out the small drill template for the emergency opener, stick it on the inside of the post so that the middle hole on the drill template is positioned between the two. In other words, we want the middle hole at that height. Take a center punch and mark the center on all 3 holes. Attach a smaller drill to the screwdriver, about 4 millimeters. When we drill these 3 holes, a reinforced plate will come behind. We need to drill through both the outer plate and the reinforced plate. But you must not penetrate the plate so that we leave a mark on the outside of the door. So drill carefully. Change the drill to 7 millimeters and drill all 3 holes to 7 millimeters, the outer plate and the reinforced plate. Be careful again not to penetrate through. Now we are at the side door, and before drilling, we will use a smaller drill, about 4 millimeters. We start drilling the holes in the body, and we have an outer plate that we need to drill through, as well as a reinforced plate that is directly behind it. So we drill through the outer plate and the reinforced plate. Here we see that we drilled a bit too high on the top hole. If it had been one of the holes where we need to install the wear plate, it would have been very problematic for the function of the lock. In other words, these 2 holes need to be positioned a bit inward and a bit lower for the lock to work properly. For those holding the shim, it is not as sensitive. Open the side door before you drill the holes. Drill the 2 holes all the way through, and the 3rd hole only through the outer plate. Change the drill to 6.5 millimeters and drill the 2 holes in the side door all the way through to 6.5 millimeters. First, we drilled the holes with a 4 millimeter drill and then switched to a 6.5 meter drill to drill the holes all the way through the side door to 6.5 meter. Change the drill to 9 mm and drill all 4 holes in the body of the side door to 9 mm through the outer plate and the reinforced plate behind. Drill the 3rd hole here on the side door to 9 mm, only the outer plate. Drill carefully. Take a countersink or a manual deburring tool and remove all burrs where the drilling has been done, both on the side door and the rear door. Blow clean all surfaces with compressed air. Take out the cavity wax and spray it into all the holes in the cavities, that is not out here but in the body, so that we get a textile treatment. Take out the rust protection primer or a split rivet and paint all the surfaces inside and out. But when we take out a rivet tool and the long split rivet when we are going to install rivets on the rear doors. We are installing rivets in the 3 9mm holes on the right rear door and also in the 9mm hole on the left rear door. When we insert the rivet into the left rear door, it may feel like it is catching a bit, so please push it to the left and press. When the rivet expands, it is important that it expands like an X and not like a plus sign, so that the arm of the rivet does not obstruct the 7.5 mm hole next to it. If the arm of the rivet gets in the way, press, twist the rivet tool, and continue. Now we installed the long split rivet on the right rear door because it was a simple sheet. If you install the lock down here where the reinforced sheets are, then you cannot use the long split rivet. Instead, you should use the short flanged rivet so that we do not pull in the sheet. When installing at the bottom here, the short flanged rivet is used instead of the long split rivet. On the side door, we install rivets in all 4 holes on the body and also in the 9mm hole in the door. We exclusively use the short flanged rivets for this installation on the side door. That is to say, all the rivets here and there are short and flanged. Replace the fitting on the rivet tool with M5. Take out the 2 small split rivets from the bag and secure them in the upper and lower holes on the inside of the post on the left rear door. Take out the black gaiters and stick them on the back and sides. Follow the hardening process and the rivets as we apply them. If you follow the outer screw there, it will end up perfectly there. Take a thread locking that is weak or medium strength and apply a dot to all rivets on the rear door and side door. Take a shim and 2 ball head screws with small washers and secure them at the top and bottom of the right rear door. We repeat the step on the side door, take out a shim, 2 screws with ball heads, small washers, and secure them in the upper and lower holes. On the rear door, when we are going to secure the final plate, we take out a countersunk screw that is 25mm long, a long countersunk screw with a washer, a high nut, the post behind. Start by fastening the short countersunk screw. Be careful not to tighten the through bolt with the nut too much, as this will bend the outer plate, so just tighten it until it feels snug and it will be great there. Cut off the protruding part of the bolt. Take out a shim, a bottom plate, a screw with a countersunk head that is 20mm long, and drive the wolf through the bottom plate. Place the lock in your pocket and then thread it through the 7.5mm hole so that it comes out through the middle hole of the post on the inside. Then secure the lock's bottom plate. so that there is a little flex in the bottom plate when pressing, not too much, as the lock should slide behind. Therefore, you must not tighten too hard, but there should be a little flex in it. This will be just right. To make it easier to slide on the lock housing, it is advantageous if one can close the door. Keep the wolf tightened. Place the lock next to it. Press with your right palm to angle it out, so that he can come from behind, and then you can pull him sideways. Take out 2 screws with ball heads, a small washer, and the screws with locking compound, and secure them from the inside. Take out the emergency opener. Make sure the lock is in the locked position. Open. The gold-colored nipple is almost completely falling off. It takes about 7 to 10 full turns that you need to screw against the nut to open this up. Then you take the wire, thread it through the small hole at the back, going up and then down. It is not an open blow here, but you have to maneuver through it. If it doesn't go through, then it is not open enough. If you loosen it further, you might find that it becomes easier to manage. Try again, ensuring that you are applying the right amount of pressure and checking for any obstructions that might be causing the issue. If one goes through it from an additional we take the tool, now it can be moved forward but not backward. Now it moves forward, but not backward. If you have pulled it too far forward and want to go back, you can press a screwdriver into the gold-colored nipple to move back again. When the lock is in the locked position, we pull the button slightly towards the inside of the post, and it is securely tightened right there. We pull the button to the inside of the post and secure it there. We now tighten the gold-colored nipple so that it can be moved and pulled through more. Take 2 M5 screws with countersunk heads and secure them in the upper and lower holes. Test the button again. Take a pair of wire cutters and cut off the wolf right at the top under the button. Back to the side door, take an end cap, 2 screws that are 25 M long with a countersunk head, and screw them into the other rivets. Take out a bottom plate and cut the tab to the height of the marking for the emergency latch. We do not have an emergency latch on the side door, and we have not made any hole for it, so take out the bottom plate and cut it exactly where the mark is before we continue. Open the side door, take out a shim, the bottom plate where we have cut the thunk screw that is 20 millimeters, and secure it in the rivet on the operable door. Make sure that the holes are centered between the shim and the bottom plate before tightening. Hold here with your thumb so you can feel when it starts to angle. Do not tighten too much. There should be a little flex left so that the lock can be placed behind, but not too much. Just tight enough that it is difficult to put on the lock, but not impossible. This will be great Take out the lock for the side door that does not have an emergency latch. Manually lock the bolt with your hand. Place the lock to the right of the bottom plate. Press with your left hand at the far end so that we angle out the bottom plate. Just so that we get a grip, and when we have secured it behind, we pull the lock sideways. Here we can see that a bit of rubber is sticking out. If there is a lot sticking out, you can just cut it off or trim it. If it's just a little bit, we can simply push it in. Take out 2 screws with ball bearing and cap and 2 small washers and secure them on the inside of the side door. Manually unlock the lock with the key before testing the door closure. After you have installed the screws from the inside, unlock the bolt so that it does not hit the strike plate and test the door closure. Oil the locks before handing the car over to the customer. Don't forget to place the user manual in the car for the driver.